Sports listeners, I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in every single Tuesday. This is a whole hour of Santa Barbara teen athletes and all those people and businesses that support those teen athletes. I love it. We're packed. I love it when we're packed. Oh, my God. 2 days in a row, I see you. Well, 2 weeks in a row. What can I say? 2 days. 2 weeks in a row. It seems like days with you. It's weeks.
Weeks.
You know, you told me that you bought the electric bike.
Yes.
Guess what?
What?
I bought 2.
You did
yes,
not.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Did you Facebook me or send a link or whatever?
I don't have Facebook.
No? Oh, you don't do the Facebook? Okay.
No, but I do
somehow,
Instagram.
Did you? Okay. Well, somehow, the Holland, I don't know. Did you get yours from Holland?
No, mine
Denmark?
is one of the Pedigos. Have you heard of it?
No.
Pedigo. It's Pedego. It's awesome.
No. Which one did you get?
It was Indigo. We got a mate from Denmark.
Yeah, we did the mate one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because as soon as so I went home, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking all of a sudden, and then I see this one from, what's it called?
It's called Mate from Denmark.
Mate from Denmark. So anyway, okay, somebody's behind us. It's her birthday, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. So whatever. Okay, it's a payment plan. Okay, whatever. So anyway, she got it. Whatever. So she got it, and like, okay, it's for like next 20 years. Okay. So we got that, and then she did it, and she was so happy, right? And then she can't ride by herself, right? So then I got one. Yeah.
Have you gotten it yet?
No, it's like has to be built. But it was one of those startup things where a couple, they did it. And how many? You explain it.
Okay, so it's a brother and sister in Denmark.
Yeah.
And they did an invention, kind of a shift on the electric bicycle where it can actually collapse into 3 parts, bend and fold up. So you can actually get it in the back of a car pretty easily. And then there's also a charger for your phone. They've done a lot of really interesting things with it. And also the tires are so that you can go on the knobbly streets of Denmark. So it's supposed to be...
Can I interrupt? Because now the charger for the phone has a holder. So just look at this.
Oh.
She's looking at me. The charger for the phone, Mr. Cox, officer, has a holder in it. Okay, just in case. What are you laughing at me for? And it has a holder for the phone. I have made sure I had that. That's Mr. Officer Cox. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, no texting while driving, even a bicycle.
Even a bicycle. Definitely not a bicycle. So how fast will you guys go?
20 miles an hour.
I think that's like the limit. Yeah, mine goes 20. And is yours pedal assist?
Yes.
Mine too. Yep. Yeah. So pedal assist. And
I
it has
said
like
on
6
mine
gears.
it didn't need to be because I'm not pedaling.
Well, mine does have like
my legs out.
It is funny.
Pull the pedals.
So mine has like on the right hand, it has a throttle, and so you can throttle it.
Really?
So in some areas, like when I'm stopped at a stop sign, like and I'm crossing State Street and I see a car coming, I'm like, okay, let's throttle this baby. It's pretty fun.
I'm gonna put since the Dodgers lost, right? So I'm gonna put my the vintage because I didn't really care, back then. So I have the bubblegum cards. I'm gonna put them on the spokes. Oh, I don't really care about it anyway. But
Oh my gosh,
they're not really worth that much anymore.
What, the baseball cards?
Because they're flooded. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because everything's online now,
exactly.
right?
I wonder what it's gonna sound like. No?
Oh, with the baseball cards in it, it's going to be loud probably.
so?
Yes, because the motors are kind of loud on it.
Well, you know, they say when you ride motorcycles, loud pipe saves lives.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, because you can hear it. Yeah.
But you said now, because she wanted to ride it to work.
Yes.
No, she said dangerous, you said.
No,
You
I've
said
been
you almost-
riding mine to work.
Yeah, but you said dangerous. You said you
It's a
almost
little
got hit.
dangerous. You have to just be like so over careful because what's happening is I think people aren't realizing I'm on an electric bike. They don't think I'm going as fast as I am.
Right.
So they're going around me and then they're like almost cutting me off instead of like giving me room. That's the problem that I've seen most of the time.
Yeah. So I want to make a plug for SB Bike. There's an organization in town. It's a nonprofit organization that their specialty is bike safety. And you can go on their website and see the streets that are specifically designed to make more room for bikes.
Yeah, that's true.
There is a very critical element to all of that as well when you are bicycling that I know there are some cyclists, I was going to say many, some, who do not seem to think that it's important to go on a one-way street the way you're supposed to go. They think, oh, I'm in a bike path, I can go the other direction. That is illegal.
Yes, you can get ticketed.
You can get nailed
here.
as well as ticketed.
And
Wait
you
till
can
you're
get
in Europe.
and you can get
Not a rule.
ticketed
I mean,
for
it's a rule, but nobody cares.
Well,
not
Laura,
stopping at a stop
Diaz
sign.
in the house.
that's
Woo!
right.
Yeah. Nice.
And by the way, May,
Yes.
you're not on Facebook, and that's fine.
Yes.
I'm starting a whole new social media outlet.
Yeah.
And it's going to be called Face What?
That's right.
I like it.
What's up?
that kind of sounds like a roasting website, like one where you just roast people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's about the size of it, yes.
Ah,
We'll
yeah.
roast
Sounds good.
everybody who's on Facebook on Face What?
Perfect.
Who are you passing the mic to? Alexandria! House! Huh? Did we find out if you got into Harvard?
No,
yet?
we do not.
You applied.
There's so much time. I did apply.
Oh, yeah. So that's early. Is that called early action?
It is called early action.
Oh, I love that.
Yes, I almost didn't apply early action. I almost submitted it early regular decision, which would have been awful. So
Why? What's the difference?
there's a very slight acceptance rate difference. So I would have just submitted it early, and I would have found out in March instead of in December.
Oh, so you're going to find out in December.
I do.
December what?
I don't know. I think, honestly, I know. I really should know.
Did you put a letter in for her or anything? Did they know who you are?
No, they do not know who I am. I did not go to Harvard.
Yeah, but do you have like letters? What letters? Do you have recommendation letters?
Yes, so you do 2 teacher letters, 1 counselor letter,
And who
then
else?
you can do.
You didn't ask me for a
optional
letter.
2. Erica, I only met you a few months ago. They need long term.
There you go,
need
long term.
long-term.
So who were your letters of recommendation?
I
just wanna know.
will. I can disclose that to you off air.
Oh, can you? Oh, the
Yeah.
Pope? What? I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it honestly wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
It was.
okay.
It's
Off air. We'll do off air.
Yeah,
We'll do off
I
air.
just,
I know.
I want to wait after
Out of respect.
find out what's going on. Then I'm
Right.
fine. But
Okay,
yeah.
I'm raising my hand because this isn't like TV. But so say you get accepted. So are we done?
No.
Oh,
Well, okay. So
Okay,
if I
just
get
asking.
accepted, some people wait until December to submit
Right.
other applications, but a lot of my friends and myself included are trying to submit them as early as possible. And then even if I got in, I think I'd still want to see where else I got in. And since it's not early
because
decision.
you got a USC shirt on. I'm
I
just
do,
saying. Hey,
And my dad
Yeah.
was very disappointed.
right? Okay.
But anyway, it was yeah. But we don't talk about that right now.
Okay, no.
Anyway,
Nobody listens. Yes.
no, but as I was saying, it's not early decision, so it's not binding. And if I do get in, that would be amazing. But I think it's good to keep your options open.
Right.
Anyway, it's a boring process that
Right.
you go through. So
I got you. How many can we have? 10, 15? How many are you going to go for? How many are you applying to?
including UCs, I'm applying to 12.
Okay, good. Well, something as hard as you've worked, and we go back. That's good. You got to apply.
I have a lot of options. I
Right,
guess.
exactly. I like that. Options are good.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
Nice. All right. I like it. Laura, get on there. Well, who are you applying to?
A
Come
lot
on, Laura.
of schools.
Get it out
Come
there.
on, Laura.
A lot of
Come on,
schools.
Laura.
Oh my
Let's go,
gosh,
Laura.
guys. Okay.
Laura,
So
in this country, not worldly.
in this country, just 3 UCs.
Okay.
I'm doing UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UCSB. I tagged there, which is like transfer admission guarantee.
Okay.
Just in case, like safety net.
Okay.
And then I'm applying to Columbia, New York University, Harvard, Georgetown. So a lot on the East Coast.
Okay.
And yeah, you said just in this country. So
Right. That's right. I got
that's
you.
pretty much it.
And
Yeah.
what about like?
I probably will apply to Syracuse too, just because like that's another safety net.
Okay.
But yeah.
Anything over abroad, or do you want
Yeah,
to stay?
Paris.
Yeah?
There's American University of Paris where I could apply to.
Nice.
you wouldn't want to move too close to home now, would you?
Okay, just for the heck of it, because we still have Michael Baker, but since you've got the phone, just say I was stuck in an international airport, and out of the 7 countries that I might want to participate, because I haven't bought my ticket yet, so can you say hello in the 7 countries that I might want to go to really fast? And because, and Teen Sports Radio, they're all in 7 different countries. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Salve a tutti, spero spero che stiate passando una giornata bellissima.
Erica is stuck. Just mention her name too. The Queen of Teen.
Hallo liebe Leute, ich hoffe, dass ihr einen wunderschönen Tag verbringt und dass vieles Gutes zu euch kommt. Bonjour à tous, j'espère que vous avez une journée très très jolie. Buenos días a todos, espero que todos están bien. And hello everybody, I hope that you're all doing really good and that you're going to have a beautiful day.
I didn't hear that in Chinese.
Oh, ni hao, budge. I don't know how to say Thanksgiving in Chinese.
Okay, that's fine. All right. I don't know how to say Chinese either.
I have a quick pregunta if we're gonna go in different languages. Okay. I want to know what the process, how it's different if you're transferring versus if you I know we have short time, but versus me applying as a freshman applicant versus a junior applicant.
I feel like when you apply as a junior from college, it's way harder in a sense because they have higher expectations because you had 2 years in college and you better have shown that like you really want to like go forward. You've shown that there's leadership involved, especially for competitive schools. You have to show that you're not just doing school, but that you're going over it. Like you have to do as much as you can and do it well. Because like you don't want to just like accumulate stuff and then do it kind of okay. You want to be excellent in everything that you do.
She nailed it, but that's okay.
I just sacrificed my social life, but it's fine.
You didn't have a life? I made sure of it.
I manage. It's okay.
Yeah.
No. So that's the main thing. They really want to see that you are involved and that you are keeping up with everything that you did in high school. And then also, of course, all your college grades are in. And often people have a little bit of crisis in their first semester of college, which might bring down their GPA. So, yeah, there's that. Also you can't go in undeclared. So if you have a competitive major, it kind of sucks.
I was her financial advisor. I basically sat down with her mother and I said, look, let's lay it out, okay? It's free. The first 2 years is free, okay? And that's just basically, I just basically gave her the same talk that my father gave me, I got accepted to UCLA and Cornell, all right? But I didn't have the option. My father said, we can't afford it. And I was buried, crushed, okay? And I was so angry at my father. So I went ballistically crazy, rebel, insane. So after 2 years of doing everything wrong, my father dragged me up and dumped me off at Westmont. And then I'm like, okay, so that's how I landed. Yeah. So he didn't lie to me. He said, your degree will say, and he promised me something. And on the back of my degree, it doesn't say Long Beach State, Harbor College. It says Westmont. So, but I learned, and it's true. So the first 2 years, I'm not saying, boy, if you can get into a 4-year Harvard, awesome. But I don't want people to say, hey, the money doesn't not help because I bought a house. I mean, and then houses, it does. I just want it. Both ways are great is all I'm saying, and because also I didn't have debt, I would not have had, what I had. That's all I'm saying because my parents didn't have any money. That's all.
And also, CC is really not a bad community college to come from. And it gives you tons of like resources and opportunities to show that you are really good. For example, overall, the CC, like community colleges in California, average of acceptance rate for people that applied to UCLA was like 24% acceptance rate. But if you go to CC, there's like the honors program, and out of the people that applied from the honors program, 77% got in.
Right.
So you can show that you are able to do a lot, and they do kind of like provide you things that would help you get in.
Right.
So
it's all good. It's whatever road that you need.
Absolutely. So, and I think a lot of people are choosing that option, especially if they maybe weren't considering college even before at all.
Right. It's all good.
Then
I love good. All good. Michael Baker, and you met your wife at where?
College.
It's true.
That is true.
Well, we got to take a break. I know I'm getting, ouch. All right, I get it. We're going to go. Let's take a break. New commercials. I love new commercials. We'll be back with a big show right after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday
at 9 a.m. Michael Baker's in the house, and I didn't get to introduce you because
I'm shy.
Yeah. I got the tallest guy in the house is going to go first, right? Because I have to, he's like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, I don't want to mess with him.
I know.
Not at all.
I got to introduce him, and this guy. I tell you, when I first, I feel like I was a pterodactyl. I stalked him, So I know this woman, and she's so near and dear to my heart. Her name is Carla McCann, and I think she was the one who really name dropped this gentleman to me. I don't know how old her son was, James, at the time, a couple of years older than my kids. Anyway, so I heard his name first, and then a couple of kids down at St. I don't know, where was it? It was down in Ventura. The boys down in Ventura. God, what was it? I forget the guy's name. Oh my God, the dad's name was Renee. You remember the father's name? Oh God, I forget. Darren, this is going backstage.
I'm not sure. Probably at Ventura High School.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, my long story short, I don't know, it was a couple of weeks, leaving voicemail, stalkers, psycho, voicemail, mother messages. And then it was like it was late, like 9:30, 9:45. I get this, random call, and I'm up, doing paperwork. And he says, this is Darren Spiller. And I'm like, man, 7-minute room. I mean, I didn't stop talking. And then he gets this little giggle. You haven't heard it yet, because he's got this cute little giggle. And then he goes, I'll see your boys down at the field at 8:00. Man, of course, I was there at 7. Okay. And they're doing jumping jacks from 7 to 7:30. Of course, hitting grounders, get a good sweat going, because that's, you're late.
Pre-workout before the pre-workout.
Of course, that's how this mom rolls, right? We were up at 4:30 getting ready. Okay. That's just how it is. And then I think, my boys were, guys, what it is when they're in 7th grade and you're a basketball mom and your whole life is basketball and your kids are not 6 foot by 7th grade, you're looking up high and you're like, dear God, I picked the wrong sport. Okay, so you got to switch. So we had to move the baseball real quick. Well, now I'm behind. Okay, because they started all, early, and I don't know.
So they hadn't played baseball prior to this?
They did, but not
really.
Is because back that generation was starting to accelerate in the one sport, which I didn't agree with.
No,
but I'm behind in baseball. They were down like 10,000 swings, pretty much. Yeah. Okay, and that's a fact. Right. Okay, so we had to hyper accelerate, and I needed a professional. I just had to jump into that, and I was a single mom, so I needed an MLB. I didn't need daddy coaching. Okay, I needed somebody like that. And then when I heard his name kept popping, Darren Spiller, Dan Cardinals, Darren Spiller. You got to get into this program. So I finally got into his program, and it was the absolute best thing that I have ever done. And it was great because we really didn't have that composition up here, And then once I got involved in it, then we got Lori Brocker and her kids and just the whole band of Banshees, and that was a whole reign, and we blessed because the boys, they all played in college, so my whole little band, and we got some good media and some good hype, and then because of that, I really do believe it started the programs, and not to brag, but I think with Bill's help, and then Darren, getting them all excited up here, then that whole thing with Casey Cloud and Bill, it kind of Darren really did spark it, I gotta say. So, woo, Darren Spiller, thank you. Yeah!
Well, first of all, too, I got much love for Santa Barbara. My, daughter, Westmont, triple major grad this past year. And then both my daughter and my son went to Santa Barbara High School. I live down in Westlake Village, but also my son is a former USA and Santa Barbara High School water polo, and now he's over at UCSB with water polo. So deep roots here, and I know Erica was very much pushing Ariana towards Westmont, and she went there and had the time of her life.
Just a little.
So the good connections there, and good connections to the teen sports world here in Santa Barbara, and Erica opening up doors up this way. As far as the baseball goes, it's always been deep rooted as far as the level of play and the commitment and just the showcases that you have to do to get seen by the college world. The college recruiters go to certain pools, and from Ventura County to San Fernando to Orange County to San Diego, and Santa Barbara was always kind of like excluded and chopped out of that. Not saying that there's tremendous athletes up here. So when we opened those doors, it's almost like we came up here, did our little mini workouts, and then took these groups of players and then transplanted them down in and merged them and fused them into our program. And then we would go to Arizona, we would go to Vegas, we would go to Orange County, and from the McCanns, the Bronsomas, the Saldas, the Jack Gregsons, the Joyces, like those type of players that came out of here were tremendous, and some of them that went to four-year schools, and then guys like Bronsoma and McCann that are playing professional baseball. So very proud of those kids, and I think it's just implementing that type of work ethic that needs to be done. Much like any smaller community, when you kind of dominates your pool, you got to remember there's always a bigger ocean, there's a bigger area to go, and a different level that you have to take your training.
I got a quick question for you.
Yes.
Where did you get your love for the game? And the reason why I'm asking that is my stepfather was a Brooklyn Dodgers fan, and it just so adored baseball, had every stat memorized. This is before personal computers. I mean, knew everything, listened to every game. Where did you get your love for the game?
You know what? It was my love for the game. I mean, it was established in like the playgrounds, the backyards, playing it, from little league to high school to into professionally for 13 years. That becomes a business, and it's I mean, I got to tell you, it's a love-hate relationship sometimes. And as soon as you're away from it, you want to get back to it. But what it always came back to was like going and playing like over the line in the summertime, or wiffle ball in the backyard. Absolutely. Nobody's getting paid. You're not trying to make a team. It's like hey, I'm Dave Winfield in the 7th game of the World Series, or whoever your favorite player was at the time. And it always reverted back to that. When it became a business, you'd kind of shake your head and it'd be like, but then you would revert back to when you were like 8, 9, 10 years old in grandma's backyard, and there was this huge game that was bragging rights. And you'd always revert back to that. I try to tell parents today, make it fun. Show them the right way. And make it fun. And if there's not a love, there's too many things for these kids today. I've seen some of the best kids, some of the most talented kids walk away at 16 years old, and you think that dad's going to have a heart attack. Why is that? Because all of a sudden now he's at a crossroads, becoming very independent, and there's too many things out there now. Social media, girlfriends, and maybe he wants to go make money. So there has to be a love. There has to be a passion.
Gotta have passion for the game, without question.
Yeah. Okay. We got everyone that wants to ask you a question, but we've got commercials. We've got big sponsors. No, not yet, but we will. I'm feeling it. Hey, this is Erica Salda. We've got a big show in front of us. Let's take some commercials. We'll be right back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Wow, that was my ear. Where else can you find us, Laura?
You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and teensportsradio.com.
Yeah, Michael Baker has a question.
Okay, so you talked about finding your passion. I know nothing about you, so I'm gonna guess that you're either your dad or you had brothers, uncle, someone really exposed you to baseball. You got exposed to it at an early age. You fell in love with it. And do you remember the first time you went to your first professional game as a kid?
I do. My parents were huge Dodger fans.
Oh, that's too bad.
My dad was very athletic and played football at Fresno State. But actually, their first date was at a Dodger game, and so my mom could probably name more Dodgers than I can. But my dad would take me to Dodger games. My grandma was a Dodger fan, so kind of grew up with the whole Fernando mania, from with Yeager and Garvey, Say, Lopes, and Russell, that whole era. So yeah.
So I'm wondering, so Erica's talking about how her kids, not being 6 foot, 7 foot by sixth grade, how the basketball was kind of a pipe dream. So with baseball, I'm wondering if there's anything, I don't really know that much about the sport. I don't know, is there anything that, if you should meet these requirements, or maybe it's something that you need to get a lot of exposure to when you're young? Do you think somebody can enter that sport later with, maybe not with ease, but can they be successful at it?
Oh, definitely. You look at, as far as physical traits, with our programs too, we really, really emphasize, grades, academics, because there's only so far you can go unless you're out here throwing 97 miles an hour and you're a first-round draft pick. Still, with that being said, the MLB scouts do their homework, and usually, like you had the Gowdy kid out of Santa Barbara a couple years ago that got paid pretty well in the second round. He was going to UCLA. If he didn't have that, he's not going to get that money offered. So I always tell my guys, hey, especially that are the guys that are getting drafted, that it's worth it, keeping the high academics, getting the commit. But to get to your question, you look at guys like David Eckstein and Jose Altuve, who, they list him at 5'5", he might be 5'4", Might be 130 pounds. Yeah. And these people were told they can't every day of their lives. No. So, you just see the fortitude, the will of someone persevering, and I love those stories. You don't have to be that guy with the size and everything else. So, to get back to it, baseball is a great sport that, you don't have to be pigeonholed and be a certain size. It's a great sport to, you're out of a hotbed of this area where East Coast schools love getting West Coast baseball players. Love getting it because we're so competitive and the weather's so conducive to playing all the time. So
I was just wondering how you encourage academic success in a sports environment, because in Europe, sports don't exist in school, so they're never related, and it's often kind of a trade-off. Instead, I feel like here you have to be a good athlete and you also want to keep good grades, and that's emphasized from both sides. So how do you push your players to not forget the academic side of their education, but also keep the focus on the game?
Okay, so that's a very good question. So, baseball based on stats, right? So we can look at it like this. 1% of high school players, of the best players, are going to go to college. 1% of those college players are going to play professionally. And 1% of those in the minor leagues are going to play in the big leagues. 1% of big leaguers are going to play 10 or more years. So that eliminates a lot of people. So I always say this, let's play baseball to get us into school, because it's something that like a lot of those the high school kids are very just, hey, I just, sports is keeping me in school. Okay, so we're going to be on them with their grades, because there's no different than them putting the discipline, swinging a bat, fielding a bat, their bodies the same in the classroom. So we're going to make sure that getting to school, they're still going to play 4 more years of baseball, but that's going to open up so many opportunities. And along those 4 years, they're going to find the passion of something that they want to do, whether that's money management, whether that's being an agent, being a lawyer, being a doctor. And that's where their passion and the doors are going to open up.
Definitely opens the doors. I mean, even with John, whatever, God has a plan. That's what I would just say. Just give it 110%. It teaches the social skills, everything. It teaches them to relate on a different level, I think. Hey, let's take another break. This is Erica Salda. We'll be back with a lot more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I am your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
All right, Darren, you've segued now. All right, we got some big announcements to make. First of all, we want to thank you for including Santa Barbara and in your plans, okay? Domonique and I, Santa Barbara Wellness Center, you've included us in your advisory group with the CSUN Spiller Group, and you want to share? I'll let you do it. It was a tearful day for us in my office. Thank you.
We're so excited, and I'll go really quick with this. The sports world, the last 10, 15 years it's turned into mega big business, from hotels from soccer, baseball, lacrosse, everything, these huge tournaments. And everything is turned into pay to play. It's really left out the inner city kids, the kids that just can't afford to go do these things and be seen in front of colleges and recruiters. So we're trying to change this with Cal State Northridge baseball. They have a brand new stadium being built. We have a brand new facility being built. My business partner, Mike Thorne, who's just been tremendous, who was on your show about a month ago. We have, formed a home field for champions.
Woo! Yeah, we are. Very excited.
And we're kicking that off with a Attitude for Gratitude camp on November 12th at Cal State Northridge, combined with their staff there and our staff from Team Easton. It's all underprivileged kids, all 7th and 8th graders from all different areas, and half the camp is formed from up here in Santa Barbara.
50 kids are coming from Santa Barbara. Thank you, Michael Baker, who's contributed.
We are definitely sending kids to the camp. Thank you for
that. All provided by Darren and Mike, so thank you. So we're going to have 50 kids that would have never been able to enjoy that. We have to thank Bill Pintard because he's driving them down in the Bill bus.
Yes,
the Forester bus.
Thank you, Bill Pintard.
Thank you, Bill. All right, so that's all taken care of by you guys. Thank you so much for including us in the dream.
Yes. And I think it'll just show kind of the way that we want to physically, mentally, mentorship, all of the different ways that we're trying to build these kids up in their dreams, the baseball skills to mentorship programs, to the academic part, to getting them on college campuses and showing the athletes and kind of the day in life of what they go through, from their academic piece to their athletic to also the mental side of kind of what a college athlete goes through, to get these kids excited to get them to college campuses. So that whole camp will entail that. It'll include dinner. We got some good guest speakers. Not supposed to reveal them yet, but so it'll be an exciting day for some of these kids. I think they'll come back and travel back to Santa Barbara and really, really look forward to doing something like that again.
Beautiful. Thank you for doing this. First of all, I coach my kids in every sport, and baseball was I loved coaching the baseball. It's such a thinking man's game. It's just such a great game. what I would want to point out that I think you talked about, which is really critical, in the areas that we serve, kids don't play baseball. They're not exposed to it. Their parents don't. It's not that they don't encourage them to play. They just don't. They don't know the game. And it's unfortunately in the inner city areas, it's a dying sport. It's not. Kids aren't playing it. So we're really excited to be able to send kids to expose them to the game. I love baseball. I love the game, and for me, as I was talking about earlier, I really believe it's one of the few sports. It's a game of failure. The whole thing is, I mean, you're gonna if you get up in life, we have a lot of very smart students here. Can you imagine taking a test and you go home and you come with a 30 on a test out of 100? Your parents would be furious. Well, in baseball, you're going to the Hall of Fame. You get 3 hits out of 10 at bats, you're going to the Hall of Fame. If you average that for your career, it's just a game of failure. So it's a wonderful, a lot of stats, great game, very educational. I just want to thank you for what you're doing for our kids. Oh, it's awesome.
Thank you, and I'm honored and humbled to be here. And obviously, I mean, Erica's been a huge part of my life, and I've been involved with her kids, and I feel honored to be, have a piece of that and watch them grow up. And that's why I do what I do. It's, hey, baseball's part of it. But baseball is just a vehicle to mentor and guide these kids and do the best we can as coaches, parents, mentors, because I get just as much of enjoyment of it's kind of that time of the holiday season where I'll get my pro guys that come back and that's awesome, but then I'll be out at the malls or out shopping, and I'll have one of my kids that played for me and went to college, got an education. Now they're kind of showing my age now. They're a doctor or they're a CPA or whatever they're doing, and they'll come back and they'll go, hey, remember when you made me train this or get up at 5 a.m. and do this? It works in the business world too, and so it's so. I just get a big smile, and that's why I do what I do. So I feel extremely blessed, extremely lucky to work with the young people. We're so excited to get these underprivileged kids. My business partner, Mike Thorne, who's also on the head of the adoption board, and does great things on the East Coast, works with Theo Epstein with his stuff with the GM of the Cubs. We used to be at the Red Sox.
Oh yeah.
And
let him go.
We're doing stuff now with the inner city kids in Los Angeles, also with Major League Baseball. Really trying to use education, get the baseball players and keep them in school and get them to college. Mm-hmm. That's our goal. Too many people are saying, okay, where's the next Darryl Strawberry or, the first round pick? That's great, but like I said, I already went through the percentages. So.
Woo! Put your hands together. We love you, seriously. You're my man. On a soul level, you know that. Was that your 6 is behind my 6 or is my 6 behind your 6? I forget all that number stuff.
I think we both got each other's back.
Yeah, I always got your back.
Yes, I know you do.
So I want to ask you a question I always ask big leaguers every time I meet them. So who did you absolutely own? Who couldn't hit you? What famous personality say, this guy couldn't touch me? Couldn't touch me.
I mean, you know what? I can tell you the other one who owned me.
I was going to ask that next.
And
that's the next
remember
one.
that one more, okay. and I got a lot of respect for him too. So I'm trying to select who I did really well against. You know what? Wow.
See, now you know this is live, right?
Yeah, I know.
Nothing's staged.
You can start with who owned you.
You know what? You know who absolutely owned me, and I got so much respect for him. And I think hopefully he'll be a big league manager coming up here. And it was Chipper Jones.
Really?
And I could not get that guy out. Even coming up through the minor leagues. A great story one
lefty
time.
Too. Lefty on lefty.
Well, he's a switch hitter. So he batted right against me. But coming up through the minor leagues, I had one of my best games. I won a game 4-2. And they had a lot of good players: Javi Lopez, Tony Tarasco, Ryan Klesko, some guys that had good big leagues. And this was in the minor leagues. And I pitched a game, and I think I went 8 innings, had like 12 punch outs, won 4-2. And Chipper hit 2 of the biggest bombs off me. and I get everybody out in the whole lineup. It was one of those days. But whatever I threw to that guy, the ball was hit very hard. And you know what? The guy's probably going to be a Hall of Famer. And,
there's no doubt.
The way he went about his game and stuff, I have a lot of respect for him, and I hope he gets to be a manager. So, but yeah.
There you go.
Short little break. All right, one more break. Hey, stay tuned. This is Erica Salda, Philippi Coffees. We'll be right back with more after these messages. We are back, and this is the Santa Barbara Teen Sports Radio Show. I'm your host, Erica Salda, the Queen of Teen. Please tune in
every single Tuesday.
Dr. Mae Chandler.
Yes.
How's things?
Things are good.
Good.
And I brought some guests today.
Yeah.
So I brought back Ashley Coelho.
Ashley!
So she is the Santa Ynez track coach for boys and girls, as well as the golf and basketball coach for the girls.
Doesn't end.
So it doesn't end. And she brought a guest with her, which is one of her rivals. So hello, Ashley.
Oh, I like that. A rival. That's what I like. Confrontation. Right around the holiday season.
We are planning being rivals because our schools are going to be joining leagues together next year.
Nice.
So they're Channel League currently, and we are currently Los Padres League. Ooh. So those two leagues, our league got split up, and so some of them are going north, and the rest, there's 3 schools, Lompoc, Cabrillo, and Santa Ynez, that are heading out to the Channel League with Santa Barbara, San Marcos, and Dos Pueblos. For this next season.
Okay.
Yeah. So my guest today is Aaron Solis, the one
Aaron!
and only.
Woo! Thank you for having me back. It's been a while.
All right. So who's stronger? Oh, look at this. I'm thinking he's stronger.
Stronger as far as what?
The team. Who's gonna do what this
Which
year?
sport?
All right, let's lay him out. Let's lay him out.
We coach girls golf against each other.
Okay. Let's have a check mark, hash mark. Let's go.
The first time we played them.
Hashtag. Look at him.
Hashtag. The first time we played them in girls golf, we were at Santa Barbara Municipal.
Okay.
And we tied.
Oh,
it was a dead tie.
That's dead tie.
So we went to the 6th player.
Okay.
And we still tied.
Wow.
So we called it a tie.
Double tag.
Yeah. So I had never seen that before. So that was interesting.
Wow.
And then we hosted them at our course, and top 5 girls tied. Again. But we went to the 6th score, and we unfortunately lost.
Oh.
It was so close.
I kind of thought that because I looked at his eyes and he just couldn't wait for the results on that whole thing.
Hashtag San Marcos won. I'm just putting a plug in.
I like how she jumped in there. I like that. All right. Yeah, you guys did really well in all sports this year. Okay, good. Segue. Go ahead.
So how about basketball?
Yeah.
Well, it is November. Basketball is starting up for boys and girls the week of Thanksgiving. Games will get going at San Marcos. Our first games are Tuesday, November the 21st.
Okay.
Boys will be playing Temecula Valley, and girls will be playing Orchid Academy. And it's hoop season. The weather's getting cool. It's time to get into that gym, stay warm, and start shooting some baskets.
Okay.
And then Santa Ynez girls basketball will be starting it'll be after Thanksgiving break when we start.
Nice. And you guys are playing?
Next year, everything moves up.
Right.
So winter sports are going to be more difficult for families because you're going over Thanksgiving break, you're going over winter break, you're going over a 3-day weekend, then playoffs will be going over a 4-day weekend.
Wow.
So next year, all winter sports will be starting right after Veterans Day weekend.
Nice.
So do you like it? Do you like that system better? Or?
I'm used to it. Because I've grown up with it, in my high school, and then also just coaching for all these years. So I'm used to it. It's a basketball thing, but there are a lot of let's just say newer players coming from more lower socioeconomic backgrounds that are not used to it. especially with a lot of our Latino families in Santa Barbara, and they're not used to having these commitments for this much of time. And then, some players are traveling for holidays and that sort of thing. So it is a challenge for some certain groups, especially with soccer and basketball.
Mm. So you guys go back how long, like your friendship?
Actually,
there's a lot of love between you.
Back when Ashley used to play basketball for St. Joseph and I was the head coach for girls basketball at San Marcos, we played years and years ago in a tournament.
Oh, that's so adorable. Look at the friendship. Look at the love.
I know. I've taught her everything she knows.
I was going to say.
It's true. It's true, though.
Yeah, no, I could see that. So it's kind of like a Sal Rodriguez, Erica Salda thing going on. Can you see that? But you don't have a building named after you yet.
We're working
right?
on it.
I think you smile more.
Yeah, huh? Can you see that? Did you notice that, Michael? The thing that they're... Yeah. But you're not a legend yet.
In my own mind, I am.
Oh, yeah,
soon to be, for sure.
Aaron Solis is a legend.
He's kind of a legend.
Yeah?
He's a big deal.
He's a big legend. Like Sal?
Yeah.
Oh, a legend of all legends. Ooh, I like it.
Not?
Guess what? We got to go. Oh, no! But can you guys come back again, like real soon?
Yeah.
Yay! All right, Santa Barbara, we need to be kind to each other and lots of love like we experienced here today. God bless you guys. See you next week.